Cam got hit.
Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to another movie review. I actually have a guest on, Nagier from the Big Gold Belt Show. What's going on, man?
What's up, my dude? How you doing?
Yeah, so we're talking about Creed 2, highly anticipated movie, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I know you actually saw, this was your second time seeing it, so...
Yeah.
This time, Coogler has no hand in this. It's actually directed by Steven Caple Jr. and it's actually written by Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, so Coker, the backstory here is that Coogler had obviously big projects to work on this year. And him and Steven do have a relationship in life. They're good friends. Mm-hmm. So he trusted him to take this from him. And Coker gave him a really big script. I don't know how many pages they said, but they said they gave him a really big script. Mm-hmm. And Steven had the task in, getting it down to a reasonable size and then presenting it to Sly. And, Sly approved of it, and Sly took more of the boxing side of the story, where Steven took more of the drama and more of the stuff that's like pertains to now in society. So in other words, he made it hip. In other words, it made it work for 2018 with Coogler's blessing. So, just for anybody who's just a hardcore Ryan Coogler fan, it's no drop off by any means.
It's about equal in terms of what you're getting out of it, because I guess getting into it, so the basic crux is basically Ivan Drago, more or less he's the guy that dropped Apollo Creed and stuff, and since Rocky IV, his life basically took a huge downturn. Basically all of Russia turned his back on him and stuff, and he's doing what I'm pretty sure me and you have seen most parents do and stuff. They live through their kids.
Yeah.
And he's using his son to kind of gain his confidence back and more or less goad Adonis into fighting his son and stuff. And, as expected, there's drama in the middle of all this. Adonis, his girl, is getting her music career going, Bianca, and she's pregnant with the child. Very funny scene where that occurs. And, it's kind of putting a weight on his shoulder of, because he still more or less feels as though he's kind of, especially when, Drago's son kind of challenges him and stuff, he's still kind of feeling like he's in the shadow of his dad a little bit.
Yeah, two things I want to add too. Yeah. So the Drago story to it, and everyone to know what, if you're not understanding, what does it mean when they say everyone turned their back on them? Yeah. What I get from this is that back in the day, boxing was an international sport. I know boxing has really taking the dark side to things right now.
Yes, it is.
Very political, and the promoters operated and they set up the mega fight. So back in the day,
this movie shows it too, by the way, too. So and
even still, just to get you back in the mind frame, if you haven't seen any of the Rocky movies, back in the day, your country, you represented your country in fights, not just the Olympics, but just in regular fight.
Yeah.
So to see the mega powers against Russia versus the United States, to see that Rocky representing America beating a Russian in his hometown, I mean, that is career suicide.
Yep.
And you see the effects of it within their family, and and to my second point, I was going to make it too. You see a very good dynamics of two different kids from two different upbringings, two different countries, both struggling to figure out their identity. They don't know who they are, and they don't know who they're fighting for.
Yeah.
Where you see Drago's son kind of like, well, I feel like I'm fighting for my family because that's what my dad wants me to do, but he realized nobody's in his corner, and you hear Adonis numerous times asks who you fighting for, and he does not have the answer. Is he fighting for himself? Is he fighting for Rocky? Is he fighting for his dad's legacy? What is it?
Yeah, and that's the big thing about this movie. It is about like legacy, pride, and just like you said, figuring out your identity and stuff. Because even Drago, you know, his whole thing is just him trying to reclaim his glory and stuff. I'm not gonna. There's a surprise in this movie that it hits, and you're like, huh. I should have saw that coming, but it happened. You're like, oh shit, okay, you know. And like I said, I don't want to spoil it. Definitely go check it out and stuff. But like I said, overall with Drago, there were certain things I told D before I saw this, you know, watch this movie. I was like, you know, this movie series could easily turn like cheesy, because this movie to me felt more Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 minus the over the top stuff. Because it kept the tone very much like grounded. It didn't get over the top. Because even with Victor, you know, Victor Drago and all and his son, it's not over the top like I would have thought it would have been.
Yeah, and they also didn't. They could have capitalized numerous times on their cliche, on their clichéness of the Rocky franchise, but they didn't. You did get the Rocky theme one time, but you didn't get it. You didn't get an abundance of it. You didn't get so many like. You didn't get it. Really didn't get shoved down your throat who Apollo Creed was, and it's besides being a world champion that died of tragedy. But they numerous times could have did like, oh well, make him wear his shorts, or you know, do side by sides of the same scene where, you know, during the fights and stuff like that. I don't know if this is a spoiler review or not.
I'm trying to avoid spoilers.
Yeah, okay, no spoiler.
I want people to actually watch this, because trust me, it's definitely worth. It's definitely worth the watch, because there's always trepidations and stuff, because, you know, it's like you go into a sequel and you always want to avoid not, you know, going too over the top, because that was always, because like I said, as much as I love the Rocky series, I don't know whether you probably agree with me what I'm about to say, like, I always felt once it got past 2, it got ridiculously over the top, and it fit that era. But like when you really watch it now, it's like, wow, this movie just not off rails, but just it got wacky, you know, with Clubber Lang, and then, you know, you get, you know, Ivan Drago in 4, and just the whole rush. They really amped up the Cold War aspect of it. That was just ridiculous. Yeah, and they kind of, in this movie, they could have if they wanted to, but they didn't. They didn't really overhype it and stuff. They just kept it, like you said, just very much like boxing right now, where these countries are very prideful of their fighters and all that stuff.
Yeah, and I think too that's why this franchise, typically to your point, when franchises make a lot of money, that's when things start getting out of hand. We've seen it with Fast and the Furious, and I can't even. For Fast
and Furious, I think it had to go that way, because.
Well, I mean, but to your point though, after it wasn't about cars no more. It was just like, well, how can we just defy gravity the more outrageous way beyond before the first movie?
Yeah.
But I think with this, I don't think you're gonna. I know the reserve that you're talking about, but I think that it's safe because of how it's being done.
Yeah.
When you do have two different people that's bringing two different tones and they make a good mesh, that keeps them both grounded. Where Rocky may be like, oh, I want to do a lot of this boxing type of stuff, and he's just like, well, don't forget, we still got to keep this relatable to the people who didn't see any Rocky, but they can vibe to this because they were a Philly kid, or they were a kid who didn't know their purpose and stuff like that. I think that keeps it a very healthy mesh for success for the future.
Yeah, I mean, and actually, let's start with this one. So I know me and you, we were talking about it and stuff in terms of boxing movies, right? And I think when Creed 1 came out, Southpaw came out the same year, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
And I remember then there was a comparison between the two movies in terms of how it did the boxing, and like, I like Southpaw's boxing a little bit better and stuff. It doesn't mean that Creed had like shitty boxing and stuff. It's just, I think to your point, what you were saying, we were talking and stuff, the whole aspect of how they filmed the actual scenes itself. Like, Southpaw was very raw and like an actual like boxing match.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't want to steal whoever point told this to me, but I did initially have a huge issue with the boxing choreography. Yeah. And somebody basically was like, well, it is a Rocky movie, so that's how it's going to be. And I was like, okay, great.
Yeah, fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If that's what you're going for, then that's fine.
Yeah.
The reason why you get kind of lost in the threshold here is because the presentation of the sport of boxing is A1. Mm-hmm. I mean, it brings you everything that a real boxing fight is going to give you. You get in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, because like you were saying, the whole thing with like the way, you know, promoters are doing it. Like you have Russell Hornsby and stuff. If you've watched the Hate You Give, he was the father in that movie. He plays Buddy Marcel, and like he's a very is scummy a strong word?
Oh no, it's right on par with boxing promoter. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, and like he is taking advantage of like, you know, Drago, hey, your son's looking good. Maybe I can get you a fight with Creed Jr. And like, and you know, Adonis peeps what he's trying to do, and he calls him out on his shit.
Yeah.
And the dude still, even despite everything that's happening, he still continues to be scummy as shit. And it's like, oh yeah. He
definitely shoots low to market this mega fight.
Man,
he used every tactic, period, to do it. I hate his character. But he did a good job.
That's good. Yeah, he's the character that you just hate. There's no little bit of like any sort of like anything with us. Like, no, I hate that guy. Fuck him. He's done.
Yeah.
You know. But like you said, it's the dark side of boxing that we see. It's because to me he kind of came off like how Dana White is in the UFC. To be honest with you, just a little bit.
Yeah, you whispered it to me, and it does, except that, you know, the sort of say the structure of the two sports is a little bit different in booking, but nonetheless, you did feel like there was this one main person who ran the organization that was just going to make this happen no matter what.
Yeah, it's like, is he the head of the boxing commission? I don't know.
Yeah, I will say this too for anybody that watched too. Be curious, and I guess you can give feedback to the show.
Yeah.
Whose side do you really think he was on as a promoter? Now, promoters infamously throughout the history of boxing have always sided with one person, at least majority of the fact. You know, and getting the match booked.
Yeah.
But you kind of, at least for me, I don't know what side he was on. Again, he did grimy stuff, you know, both ways to make this happen.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, and I have defense to that spoiler review time. But again, I'd just be curious to know what other people think. Which side of who did he side for, Adonis or Drago here?
I mean, part of me feels he was about the money more than, you know, the actual like livelihood or anything that was going to happen. I mean, because it's hard for me to believe that he necessarily was like, oh man, I'm for Adonis. It's like, nah, man. It seems like he was more about the money than anything else. I would agree until I started seeing him show emotion towards the fights, and that's when I said, well, now this becomes personal to him. Yeah. I mean,
so that's where I'm at with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, you know, with the whole structure, like my one worry, and I'll wholeheartedly admit this, my one worry was when they were going to do this son versus son fight. I think my initial reservations was like, I'm excited because, like I said, I'm a fanboy for Creed 1 and stuff. So I was always going to watch Creed 2, but I was always kind of in the back of my mind, I hope that the son versus son plot isn't contrived. And thankfully it isn't. There's actually a legit reason for it being what it is and stuff, which I think that's good. That's credit to the script and stuff, because I think, you know, the way I had it plot in my head, I'm like, if this was like the 80s, that shit would have been contrived like hell. There would have been some bullshit reason for why they're fighting, and I'll have been like, this is dumb, but okay, I guess and stuff. And but yeah, the fighting itself, you know, like I said, it worked for what the Rocky is and stuff. They definitely hit you with the feels in terms of they get you with the emotion and stuff. If Southpaw was very raw with how the boxing was, Creed 2, like you said, was going for the emotions of it and such.
Yeah, no doubt, I totally agree there.
Yeah.
I will say this. As we're talking about characters, I'm gonna touch on three things real quick.
Yeah.
The casting for Victor Drago.
Florian,
I mean, that's a really raw choice because he has no acting. He has no acting experience.
First time acting.
And I guess they look at it, it's like, well, we need a beast. We need a monster. We need somebody that's going to impose that fear, like oh God, I can't think of his name. Like his father,
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, like his father did in the other movies, and I think they executed right. And I got to be honest, look how times have changed. They went on YouTube, saw this man freak workout videos, and they was like, "Oh yeah, we need this guy."
Oh, this movie nails his fucking workout because I'm just sitting back like, I mean, I'm working out now, but I'm like, this motherfucker. I'm like, I guess I need to step my damn workout game up because Jesus. I mean, and that, you know what? I'll always appreciate fighting, training montages and stuff.
Yeah,
that's, and I mean, the Rocky series has always been good for, whether it's cheesy or whether it's, straight lace and stuff. They're always good for montage sequences of training.
Yo, yeah, yeah.
And this movie hits it in spades, big time.
Oh yeah. But he was very raw, but he did a good job. And upon talking to him at the first screening, he admits it, but he's hungry. He said that he had a amateur background in MMA, but he says he felt like he found something in himself in his movie, and he wants to continue acting. But again, I think with that type of passion and for this to be his first breakthrough, I think he's going to be a safe bet for these type of roles, and more like what do you call it? Like I want to say like Dave Bautista, but movies like he's taking up, like Assassins and stuff like that. I think this guy is going to be a star in the make. He's young too. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's 26.
Yeah, 26,
yeah.
24. Yeah. So I mean, the crazy part is like, I think it's also credit to the movie in the fact that they didn't really ask of him to do a lot of speaking, but Correct. He did do a lot of emoting, and it worked.
Yeah. And when he did speak that one scene, it was raw. I mean, not raw in the sense of like unexperienced, but I mean raw, like pure emotion. Like you can tell that they said, we need you to nail this, and he did it.
Yeah.
So I think anybody who's really trying to find something nitpick here, that dude is. I think he's a star in the making. But my other big thing, and then I'll let you have it for sure. Tessa Thompson and Michael B. Jordan magic on screen.
Actually, I was going to get into that. So that's actually a good segue. Yeah. That's
organic.
Look. They with. Back in the Rocky movies, Sylvester and Talia Shire, they actually had a good connection in the Rocky movies, right? So, when I remember when Creed was announced, and it was like, oh, Tessa Thompson's the love interest and stuff, I was like, I don't know how this is going to work, and it actually worked. And they really capitalized on that in this film in terms of their camaraderie and them kind of their relationship blossoming to where they trust each other, and it's actually like a marriage, so to speak. Which, I mean, it's not really much of a spoiler. He does propose to her, and
but to your point, like you made earlier too, you see a young couple who's trying to, you have Adonis Creed who's trying to find his identity as himself as a boxer, but you see a couple trying to find their identity in the world together, and that speaks volumes in this day and age. That's why I'd like, again, having two directors pretty much put something together, it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, and it like everything. They really, like you said, they're figuring it out, and you like watching that journey and that progression. They're it feels very natural, and I mean that's very rare in movies about couples and stuff like that. So,
and I think we see them vulnerable too, because there's numerous times you hear dialogue between the two of them, and they're just like, "Well, I don't know." Or we'll figure it out. Like, and that's as real as it get. I mean, I'm definitely a product of this society right now. And there's days you definitely wake up and you just don't have it all together. And to see that on the screen of two people, I mean, it resonates really good.
Oh yeah, and I mean, it even extends to the characters because Wood Harris playing Tony Evers. You see how he finally sees Adonis as like, okay, you good. And they had. I like seeing their progression of where they're at. Because you remember in the first movie, he was like, "I ain't training you, man. Fuck out of here," like that. And now it's like, okay, you know what? There's a relationship there, and I think it's actually pretty cool. It works out and stuff. Even Felicia Rashad, she is. There's one point she gets Claire Huxtable.
I don't even. We can talk about her character all day on the show.
She knocks it out, man.
Good. That's it. That's all I can say. It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
I mean, so it's that. I guess the elephant in the room. We could definitely hit on that. The soundtrack. Buy the fucking soundtrack. God damn it, because
in the store.
I mean, because you were sitting next to me, you was like, dude, watch this soundtrack, and it's just no bullshit. Every song, it's a progression. Like, okay, all right, bet, and then this is another song. It's like, oh shit, this okay, and it just keeps going and going. And look, how does Tessa Thompson not have a fucking career in music? Please explain this to me, sir.
It's one of those things where I think that whatever one provided an outlet for her first, but by all means, that the career is there.
It's there. Like, it ain't even bullshit. There ain't no lip syncing. No, that shit is there.
Man, I really love. She performs in a scene, and I really look forward. Upon my second time seeing it, I really look forward to seeing those scenes again. Very, very good.
I mean, because that first movie, like, in the first movie, it's like, okay, she could sing and stuff. And, like, I was sleeping on it because I was like, Tessa Thompson singing. And it's like, oh, she's actually pretty good. Because I listened to the first soundtrack and it was great. This one, I was just like, okay, I need to listen to the soundtrack now because this shit's fire, man. It's really good, man. I mean, look, I like, this ain't really a spoiler. Like, fucking Jaden's icon is in the movie. And it's like, that shit is fucking fire. Just as much fire as it is just.
You talking about the Smith?
Jaden Smith. Yeah, Jaden Smith.
Jaden Smith, icon. Yeah, that song is hot.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a hit all day, every day.
I mean, shit. Even when Will jumped on that shit, I was like, okay, this is hot. But, the soundtrack. I mean, that's another part of the Rocky series. The soundtrack for the Rocky series has always been good, and it's good that they've been keeping that consistency through every movie. Even Rocky Balboa had a pretty good soundtrack, and then you got Creed, and then Creed 2. They do another revision of Flying. Was it Flying High Now? I think. Yeah, they do a revision of that and stuff, and it works. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, this movie was just good. I don't know. I don't know if they could do a Creed 3. I don't know where you can go.
Well, I do want to throw in what I wanted to say about it being good.
Go for it. Yeah.
Let me actually rephrase what you said a little.
All right.
It was good, but I don't think this was a movie. I literally think this was an experience because for seeing it 2 times, and I like to say that screening crowds are a little controlled, sort of say it in just general public.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, but both times I've seen it, people were jumping out their seats, cheering, chanting, I mean, this was an experience. I literally think, and it shows, especially tonight, that people forgot they were in a movie theater, and it might as well have been a sporting event for them. So, be prepared when you see the movie. You're not just seeing the movie; you're definitely seeing the experience. You're going to be cheering. Other people's going to be cheering. So,
it's like you said. It was just at times this is people like get them, and I'm like, okay, jeez,
shit. We're not going to give nobody no personal recognition here, but there were some crazy people in the crowd. That's all.
Yeah. No, not me. I mean, are we giving them recognition? Not really. It's just more like, hey.
No. I'm talking about a particular incident. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was there, man. But like, look, I've been to screenings before. Infinity, like the Marvel movies, I expected to be packed, right? This was like, I went to Creed. I saw a Creed screening before I actually saw it in theaters with, live family and stuff. And, going to the screening, there was people there, but it wasn't as crowded. And then when I actually went to go see Creed in theaters, it was packed for it. This was like ridiculous. Like the amount of people that was there was just like, oh wow, this is okay.
Yeah, and not to mention too, I did get there a little bit before the screening was going to start. I saw a ton of people walking back because they were just overfilled. A lot of people came out tonight.
Oh, this movie is gonna do something. Like it's man. So I mean, if you had to give it something out of 10, where would you sit at with it?
That's always I always like to say, here go the questions everybody want to know. Is it better than the first one? Yes, it is. Did anyone die? I'm not going to respect.
No. We're not spoiled. You watch the movie.
I'm about to say I'm not answering that. But that's what people all this year people want to know: is it better than the first one? Who died, and what would you give it? And I guess that's just the thing nowadays. So, but yeah, who died? Can't spoil anything for you. And what would I give it out of 10? I mean, again, this was a very, very good movie. It's not going to win anything because it was really no really big standout acting roles besides Felicia Rashad. Amazing. Yeah. But I mean, considering other things I've seen this year, it's not up to par on like great acting roles. But for the
it doesn't make the acting shitty by any stretch. I know some people would take that under consideration and think that's the case and stuff, but it's like no. I mean, because I would even say I remember when Creed 1 came out, I felt that there was some good acting from Sly. I know he got a Golden Globe for that. Sure. And I felt Michael B. Jordan could have got a nom easily, but I know last year it was kind of tough too in terms of what was out there. So I mean, point. Everybody brings their A game. I can legit say that everybody top to bottom.
That's sure. The movie just everyone. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, out of 10, I guess I got to go 8 out of 10. I feel more comfortable saying 4 out of 5, but I know that's pretty much the same thing. That's what I give it.
Yeah, I'm saying 8 out of 10. That was kind of what I gave Creed 1 at 8 out of 10. So yeah, they're about it's an 8 out of 10 in a way that it's slightly better and stuff like that. But yeah, it's. You will come away like, they really, this director, like you said, he's friends with Coogler, so you can tell he got some guidance a little bit from Coogler and stuff. Because like I said, nothing falls off in terms of how the cinematography is, because it feels like this could have been something Coogler made easily. Correct.
Yeah, if you know no better, you would have thought he made it.
Yeah, because I thought he had an associate. I thought he associate produced it or something, but nah, he had nothing to do with it whatsoever. So I'm like, oh.
Well, when Marvel calls, you got to answer.
Yeah. Hey, look, he like I said, he got the blessing. So hey, Steven came in there. Hey, look, I want to see more of what Steven can do, because if he gets more dramatic stuff, it can work easily and stuff. So yeah, man,
Here's my advice: go see the movie. If it makes money, that third one's coming, because everyone seems to be on board for it. But they obviously haven't got the green light yet.
If it makes sense, that's the key thing, and I think that's probably why you didn't get a greenlit for a sequel immediately after the first one did good, because I feel that was a situation of, I know Coogler was, intertwined with Marvel, but I think that was also a case of, is there a story that we can actually tell?
Yeah, hopefully. That just shows you, their own personal reflections to the movie. But as far as, once you make money, nowadays people are just like, hey, we're just going to take all the money in the world if we can. Oh, yeah. But yeah, I think, again, this one made sense. And I think that if they do get a good opening week, that we probably could be seeing something 2020 for number 3. And I think they laid some seeds that there could be some interesting things. But I will say, if it doesn't, then I'm happy with the first 2 movies for sure.
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, these are definitely connected in a way. And even, I mean, it's really good, man. Like I'll leave it at that and stuff. I mean, this is so many good movies. I mean, you got this Green Book. There's a lot of black excellence rolling around this year, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how you forgot what's going to be the movie of the year, as in Widows.
Listen, I already did my solo review on that one, and that movie is just ridiculous in and of itself. Yep. So it's just to have back-to-back good, solid movies is just, whew. Yeah. Yeah,
it's a great time to be a movie goer.
Yeah, definitely. So, but thanks for joining in. Like I said,
no doubt.
You're giving this 8 out of 10. Definitely go see it. And, so guess we'll catch you guys later on the flip side. Peace out.
Nagier.